I just wanted to make sure to capture everybody's reading before you all got started. Few more minutes, just one more minute.
I got a note.
All right, cool. All right, yay! It's all yours.
Oh, thank you, Jessica.
No problem.
All right. Well, let's get started. We have a few readers, but that's okay. We are here to support, be a part of the community, and to just, practice using our work. If you are so compelled and touched by a poem, please leave it in the comments section. It's always so healing when a poet reads their work. It's so vulnerable, and when they hear feedback from it, it's
We lost Monica.
Oh, she's muted.
Yeah.
Oh, did anyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes. We can hear you now.
Did you hear me beforehand?
Not the last part.
Oh, I said if you are moved by anybody, please leave comments on the section because it's always so vulnerable when we share our poems, but what's even better when we have people comment and applaud them for their work. So, and also leave your Instagram handles on the comment sections as well. That way you can have like a little bit of a following and get your audience going for your own poetry. Okay, let's get started. Welcome, Ray. Snap, snap, snaps.
Yay. Thank you so much, Jessica? Monica. Can you hear me?
I don't know what's going on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, very good. Okay, so I just shout out to Monica and to Jessica for all the great, wonderful, beautiful things that they do for the community. I mean, I really believe that poetry heals, and they are just beautiful reflections of the power of poetry. So just shout out to Jessica and to Monica for everything they do for the community. So I'm going to read two poems. One poem called Socorro that I read it in honor of all of the elderly women that are on the street tonight, and maybe they find shelter. And so with that, I will start. Socorro. I want to scream, but no sound escapes. Why can't I make a noise? My hands seem tied together, resting on my lap, because as much as I try to move them, they are immovable. All I can do is read that police are investigating yet another discovery of a human body under the 4th Street Bridge in downtown Los Angeles. She certainly didn't fall from the structure. According to the LA police, the female body was discovered around 9:50 p.m. I try my best to raise my voice to announce the crime to the world, but I feel helpless. Who was she? Some say she was an immigrant from Guatemala. Others say she was an unhoused Mexicana who had lost her apartment to red increases in Boyle Heights and had tried to find shelter under the bridge. La pobre viejecita no tenía a nadie con quien confiar. A tear falls from my eye and lands in a pool of water formed from El Nino rains. She was a mother, sister, daughter of any of us. She must have screamed for help, but no sound was heard in the concrete tomb. Homicide detectives arrive on the scene to investigate. The age and identity of the victim are not immediately known, though she is presumed to be in her 70s. That's Socorro. And the second poem that I'm going to read tonight is entitled For Paula Hernandez and All the Moms Who Taught Us to See. It's a poem in conversation with Joy Hardroy's poem For Alba Benson and Those Who Have Learned to Speak. There's a mural in a church in Boyle Heights. of a brown woman fleeing with her babies to find a home. She is wrapped in a sarape, carrying the future in her hands. Nowhere to go, seeking sanctuary. In the background is City Hall, cold steel glass windows appearing as eyes looking down on her. Every night, tents are filled, people sleeping, stomachs aching, a man running naked in the streets. Who will give sanctuary? Will you? Probably not. We are too busy, too tired, too distracted, too helpless, too removed to help. But not in Boyle Heights. Women saw those in need. Ella es mi hija. Él es mi hijo. ¿Qué haría Jesús? Paula cooked frijoles. Rosa brought tortillas. Sofía hizo el arroz. Yolanda cocinó la carne asada. Esperanza hizo todo lo demás. Too many moms to name pitching in to help feed, clothe, and shelter. They knew nothing separated them from us. Those walking the streets at night are not broken. The system is. How could we permit gente to live and die without a place to rest? The women's faith threw open doors, but this act was not charity. Those coming in had stories, hearts, and ganas. Equal worth for a cot, a safe place to lie down, shelter. Moms may have little to offer in terms of material wealth. They did have immigrant hands, eyes, and hearts, a different wealth. Había necesidad y les dimos la mano, nada más, nada menos. 12-hour shifts working as seamstresses in downtown sweatshops, raising 4 kids with little more than a mom's determination to ensure that they know that they are loved, building an oasis of love where few thought possible, pushing against the weight of poverty, indignity, and racism. They said, surely we can open our arms and receive the most in need of our city, because we live in el pueblo de Nuestra Señora de la Reina de Los Ángeles. She is not that woman. She is that woman in the mural. She is our mother. She needs a home tonight. The rest of the city and the world has much to learn about love from the mothers of East LA. The woman in the mural saw what Paula saw. Sanctuary. When will we see it? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ray. That was profound and beautiful. And to speak for these women, these powerful women, and all the women that are around us that are women of color, have changed our lives in so many ways. We can't even put words to it. The immigrant hands is a different kind of wealth. I think that was the line, but that was, I love that line. So powerful, yes. Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Ray. I know you have dinner plans, so unless you have anything else to read or anything to say.
Oh, I just wanted to say how much I appreciate you all. I mean, it's really extraordinary. You've really blessed me with just this opportunity, and I'm just very grateful to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great night, and we'll get started on the open mic, and we'll end with our other feature, Deanna, who I'm really excited to hear. And yeah, thank you so much, Ray. Let's give him another round.
Yay, thank you.
Yay.
Yay.
Nah.
Okay, appreciate you.
Appreciate you too. Thanks for coming on.
Okay, nos vemos.
Nos vemos. Okay, well, the next person that I'm excited to announce is like an uncle to me. His name, I know him by a certain name, but I won't announce it. But his name on here, please come up to the mic. And everybody can mute themselves for now. Frank, if you are here,
I think you can unmute.
please unmute for us.
I can unmute. I didn't hear the last part of it. I heard something about uncle, but that's the only thing I heard. Okay, but this is Willie June Landis. I'm gonna take you down south, and this is the one I'm gonna do on Sunday for Kiwan. I need practice, so I'm gonna get this for you. Is that okay?
Saturday.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I remember walking back of the levee along the old shabby railroad tracks, picking blackberries from the bushes. Sweetness tickled my palate. One state to the east of Louisiana was born a fruitful Black literary genius. Like Muddy Waters and B.B. King, the Black Pearl was among swine. Mr. Bilbo stood on the U.S. Senate floor. Any nigger that goes to the polls will be shot, albeit before her entrance into the world, the evil men do have lasting consequences. Despite these overt and covert assaults on her thirst for knowledge and awareness, the little girl pressed on determined, using whatever mind enrichments available. Her human dignity was undermined. Her physical being was in danger. Yes, children, please spell the state. MISSISSITI, a state with 4 eyes that couldn't see. Plethora of talented people it had, prompting their yearning for better. She passed signs that read like this: if you're a nigger and can read, do not enter. If you're a nigger and cannot read, still do not enter. So she journeyed to the Golden State, looking for and getting proper recognition. Deserved appreciation for her artistry, acknowledgement of her brilliant linguistic gift. So we'll go into alliteration about her name. Q, quintessential queen of quality form and prose. U, uniqueness unparalleled by the mere unicorn. I, intense intellectual collection of ideals. And never deny her noble Nubian roots. O, originally opinionated yet open. A, astonishing a semblance of artistic talents. A, absolutely amazing, amicable. She is internally humble and humorous. Her pristine presence permeates our being. Her wonderful wit wows the world. Thank you for your devotion to the craft. Thank you. Keep on. Thank you.
Woo, thank you. Willie June.
Okay.
You're
So-
welcome to read one more. We have just a couple people on the mic, but
Okay. I'll read the one that got me into the program, and I'll get to that. That's the one you guys remember about my mother.
you can do one more.
Okay, I'll do that one.
Okay.
Entitled Scuffling Like a Dog. Her mother Ethel named her Ivy Jean. Her world was very cold and very mean. Her worldly losses started when she came in. At birth, her sister Bobby died, her twin. At 80, cruel death again her fate. Her mother Ethel goes to heaven's gate. The victim poisoned malice hard to rule. Her father's mother's sister used that too. She never bronzed her first to be a lad because of beating by his good old dad. His thrashing she received without fair warn. The older baby surely was stillborn. Although she suffered a painful long strife, at age 15, she gave a new life, became her eldest first success and young son. Why did she leave at the age of 41? Her husband left for Cali, his Wanda. He dumped crying children on his mother. One night he called and Jean was not at home. He hurried home, stifling her freedom to roam. One day, Gene came home from a hard day's work. Today, he was absolutely a jerk, reclaiming her dignity as he grabbed with a kitchen knife in her chest. He stabbed, just spoiling her children's Saturday dish. Now it's blood-saturated tuna fish. Hospitalized by this lost, deranged man, wondered if they would see their mom again. Oh, promises of reform he deceived, but her life and 4 children she must leave. Ready to face life's unknown struggle and strife, realizing her husband would take her life. One realized now his life he was a flake, carrying the burden of being his namesake. A man one thought who should have been admired. Now that thought makes me so ill and so tired. She told her friends about the lump in her chest. She is diagnosed with cancer of the breast. Refused to give up on her 4 children inside. Neglected treatment to keep her minimum wage job. Too early to heaven she found her way. Departed 2 days before Mother's Day. Unfortunately, I'll never get another. Ivy Jean was my beautiful mother. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me. Where do I find it on YouTube? Can you put it in the chat or something like that?
Yeah, I can try send you the link directly. How about that?
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay, just remind me, text me.
All right.
Thank you. Love you. Okay, up next on the mic is the man next to me, literally. my left hand.
May I just chime in? I'm not there because of something, a disease called, the last 2 syllables are Rhea. So if I'm getting up, you know what I mean.
Okay. So let's welcome to the mic, Mike Conifer.
Hi, everybody.
Let me.
I'm appreciative of the poetry here. One of the reasons I got into poetry was that early on at the Anansi Writers Workshop, a poet got up and said, "I report from the streets." And I thought that was such a profound thing to say because so much of what we hear is not from the streets. It's from the boardroom or the meeting room or the committee or the schoolroom, and from the streets. It really hit me when Ray was doing his poetry. So this is a poem that I promised Monica I would bring if it was ready. So I workshopped it last night. And here it is, the first real performance. It's called Accounting for Love. Accounting for Love. His dreams were the price she paid for falling in love with the dreamer. His moods the tax incurred on days his vision blurred. It seemed to her disaster lurked in every claim he made when he was seized by an obsession. Their goodbyes took a toll when he hit the long haul road. A voyage has its cost. It was she who'd eat the loss. His distance held her prisoner behind its sullen bars. Her sentence was uncertainty. A day felt like eternity. She knew he had been broken when caught up in a war whose horrors were so deep they found him in his sleep, that never would come again to him a day unhaunted by the echoes of the battle den and ghosts of fallen men. It seemed to her heretical to denigrate his dreams as if she'd be at odds with unfamiliar gods. She saw that she alone could nurse his troubled head, realized she was destined to become his medicine. So that is what she did. With every dawning day, she witnessed world anew, called attention to its beauty that he would see it too. She meditated happiness with flowers, bees, and clouds, held sweet corn stalks as totems in a garden ripe with omens, staked her faith in gods who'd answered prayers before, in her belief that she would catch him if he fell, bandaged him with joy, injected him with laughter, fed him a diet of yesing as a meal and a blessing, stitched his wounded thoughts with golden threads of light The music that she played would heal his dismay. No score can say for certain the way a song is heard. No plotting can determine the story of a garden. Did she pay a price? Oh, sure, no doubt. Just ask. She'll tell you lots of what she sacrificed for love. Tell you too that though her checks would on occasion rebound from the bank, she has her man to thank. Payoffs for her debts were hidden in his dreams. Good fortune in the end was her life with him.
That was so beautiful. Can you say the first line
His
again?
dreams were the price she paid for falling in love with a dreamer.
I don't know, man. That was so beautiful. Is everybody getting this silver alert emergency?
Yeah, can't hear about it
Silver
now.
alert? No. Can we talk about the missing people that are considered people, like our Native American brothers and sisters? Anyway, but that's just me. This is. Now I have 0 participants.
You're still here.
Internet cut out for me really quickly.
Yeah, hi. There was an emergency alert that kind of interrupted things, so. But we're still live. Monica,
I'm not Mike Bonifer, but he's right next to me. And
I'm
thank
right
God
here.
he is, because my computer decided to wig out on me. It's still connecting. But if everyone else can hear me, up next we have Holly. Holly, are you still here? Okay, now.
Turning.
Is Holly in the house? Let's see.
Where you been, girl?
well, Monica, we just had someone
Yeah.
new. Maybe that's the
I'm
problem.
so sorry. Okay, so luckily I have people next to me that hi Kiela, I'm not Mike Bonifer, as you know. But I'm having some computer issues, so I'm just gonna maybe tap out and then come back in. But I believe we had Holly. I'm not sure if she's still here. I don't think she is. But next we have the wonderful woman right across from me. Can we welcome to the mic Layla? Layla.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Kiela. It is so good to see you. Okay, so today I'm going to do The Page is Fine. So it's a story about healing. Okay, so here we go. Don't want to or can't get totally naked in front of people, but the page is fine. Going to strip, bare my soul and let it all hang out. And though I stand before you fully dressed, silver stud earrings, button-up shirt, ripped jeans, lacy bra, black belt with matching shoes, they'll all be gone by the time I finish this poem. In the smallest whisper, sharing my worst memories of gaslighting at its finest. No, I haven't seen them, he said. Where did you look? Earrings stealthily stowed away and magically found by Mr. Gaslighter himself. As I try to recover, I'm sucker punched. My shirt buttons fall off, slip from my shoulders. I shudder. Memories, a dagger to my heart. Remembering the narcissistic abuse, my heart rips like my black jeans, like his black heart. Feeling the heartbreak anew, a slight twinge appears, a nervous tick. More covering slips, lacy bra now off, so uncomfortable, nipples visible, nothing left to the imagination. But what can I do? Feelings must be felt and dealt with. Attempts to regain my composure unsuccessful. Flying monkeys, the ones carrying his vile acid-laced slander. Black belt similar to his heart, drops, hits the ground, jeans down. Nothing holding my pants up, I'll soon be naked. Behavior escalating in spite of no contact. Anger, repressed memories, insomnia, mental health on decline. I spiral as he expertly manipulates me, digging into the recesses of my mind, plotting his revenge, executing it and me. Expensive shoes not enough to shield my feet from the pain of being walked over and ran over with a Mack truck. Now walking around barefoot, cut by shards of glass all around. I walk on them as I've walked on eggshells for far too many years. Got to put my shoes on, pick myself and my clothes off the floor and seek redress, but there's no remedy in sight. Attempts to shield myself unsuccessful, gray rocking in order to protect my sanity. What you see before me is the real me, mask now off, pretenses stripped, now naked, no covering left. No more people pleasing, only authenticity remains. I smile as I swipe his monkey off my back, put a match to his gas lighting and set it afire. I enjoy watching it burn with full knowledge that there was no going back, even if I wanted to.
Thank you.
It's a good version.
Well, for sure you can read it next month on the Zoom, but there's no wrong poem ever, I feel. There was everything right with that poem. Thank you so much. Up next, we have is Latoya, the poet, the Lady Rose. Can we please welcome her to the mic? Woo! Thank you for being here.
Thank you for doing this. It's been a while. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? Yes? Okay. Okay. All right. So yeah, it's been a while since I've jumped on one of these. And I think everybody here is new to me except for Jessica. So I'm gonna do a couple oldies. Old to me, new to you. So the first one is a tribute poem to a fellow artist who transitioned closer to the beginning of the pandemic. She had lived with ovarian cancer for about 7 years prior to her transition. And I was able to write this piece and share it with her before she passed. So this is called For Mo. Dragonflies' wings beats compete with those of my heart. And just as I begin to unravel, I pause and take a minute to breathe. Then just as quickly, peace comes flooding because that is what she would want from me. I am she, Lady Rose, rising to the occasion to overcome the inner dissuasion, to be able to present myself to you so naked and shaken. Willing to stumble and disappear into a puddle to communicate my love, and not giving a bleep about what anyone thinks, because she is just that special to me, and that is what she does for so many. So I will honor her. This is for love, this is for hugs sent telepathically, since I can't be with you now. I hope you feel it, draw close near it, feel my sincerity. My heart bleeds to take this creeping thing from you that attempted to bring you to your knees. And even if it did, whether literally or metaphorically, that is the time of reckoning, questioning, blaming, reflecting, and eventually clarity. Because although we see through a glass darkly, then one day face to face with truth and acceptance comes renewed strength to fight with vigor and grace. Don't worry for the tears, let them fall, taste them, for they are reminders that you feel and that you are still here to continue fighting for this life that you are especially made for. And while we may not understand everything, what I do know for sure is that your existence was meant to meet with mine, for our vibes to collide and enmesh, walking away from a piece of ourselves that is no longer ours, leaving us with valuable lessons and beautiful scars. With wisdom comes healing to be able to tell the story that will one day be transformed into art. And to Mo, we are grateful and will cherish you because you gave us a piece of your heart for Mo. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All the snaps. Right now, Mike is gonna be my co-host.
Okay.
Welcome, everyone.
Like, cause like computer decided to wig out on me.
Hey, Kayla.
See,
We just chatted earlier today.
this next piece, my niece, who is now 15, inspired it when she was 1. So I'm in Portland, Oregon currently, but I've lived in LA a couple times. And she was 1 when I moved back to Portland the first time, and it was a pretty difficult transition back home. And how little babies, they fall and stuff and they look around, and as long as you don't react, they just kind of get up and keep going on with their little lives. And I was like, man, I wish I kind of still had that. And so this piece was inspired by her, and it's called New Life. Babies, give us a reason to take notice of the things we have come to take for granted, like blue skies, birds flying, blades of grass, life's beauty. Our eyes are open again. Magically, we are transported back through time, conducting ourselves with the innocence of a child. We exhale silly sounds and partake in carefree dances, not considering the risks of strangers' eyes taking glances. Our hearts are light again. So hard to remain in the frame of my bad day when I see that face so bright and wanting nothing more than the purest part of me. And then I'm reminded of how I used to be and how that person still exists, and not only in past tense, that she was just on hiatus for a while. To protect, rest, and recover from life's lessons and the many struggles. Observations, inspirations, aspirations, and affirmations for the future are revived. Zest for life has been renewed. Purpose has found me. So blessed to learn from such a tiny being, seeing everything as if for the first time. My spirit is hopeful and healed. Thank you.
Wow, that was so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
This was inspired by your niece.
Yeah.
Woo, 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 woo.
She got to hear me do it. And so like I said, she was 1.5 when I wrote it, and she got to hear it for the first time in person last month.
Oh
So
my God, how
that was pretty cool.
special.
And
That is so
it was at
good.
an event. So she got to hear it, and I was blubbering on stage, but whatever.
How old is she now?
15.
Oh my gosh, so she could really absorb it now and really
Yeah.
understand it. That's
Yeah.
so beautiful. There's something about baby girls that just brings so much magic. I had a recently baby nephew that was born.
Oh,
It's a little bit, boys. I have 6 nephews, so I'm kind of like, where's the girl? There's so much magic in the little girl. Sorry, love the men, but there's a lot of magic in that. Okay, so I want to bring up to the mic my dearest sister and friend and just kindred soul, Kiela.
Yay.
Hey everybody, so good to see y'all beautiful faces. It's I think it's like, what is it? Is it 7:50 where y'all are? It is 9:50 where I am, so excuse my post-shower bedtime look. But I am going to share two short poems. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Bonifer. Thank you, Jessica. And thank you, LA Poets Society. Thank you, all of y'all, for being here, for listening, and for sharing. I just wrote this one. This is untitled. You ever just want to be the sugared water, the glaze over mango licked, the honey soaking fingers dipped, the drip off a glistening waist bathed in moonlight, streams? Sweet? No? Just me? Thank you. And this one is another short poem. I'm so sorry. A train went by. I feel like as soon as I started that poem, I hope y'all heard me. But this one is called When I Am More Life Than Poem. When I am more life than poem, a mundane mug on a granite counter, no ruby rimmed chalice or crystal glass. When I am the big flickering fluorescent light, no amber vibe, soft glisten of a girl. When I'm all work, my laugh, a broken laptop, the slam of fingers to stuck and missing keys. My laugh, the drying coffee spill, a grape forgotten dropped at lunch molding past a raisin. When I've run out of giggles and glitter, and I am more 2 p.m. than midnight, a DMV before dawn, not a disco. The rust, not a disco, not the flooding oil can, but the rust. When I am more life than poem, I'm still enough. Thank you.
Thank you. I always love hearing you read, Kayla. There's just something about how you read and what you read, like pure magic. Not the DMV. I was just at the DMV the other day, and I was like, "This is a special
Not
place
that
on
cute.
earth."
It's not this place.
It's just not. It's just it's another world that I don't ever want to. Luckily, I live in Pasadena, and the DMVs aren't as wasn't as crazy as when I lived in the Valley. So I was like a little bit like, okay, the lines aren't too long. I wasn't there the whole day. But thank you, Kiela. Love you so much. If you can all stick around, I would greatly appreciate and introduce to you our very special feature, Deanna. She is, sorry, I am the worst right now. I'm just pulling up her bio. But I believe that Jessica met her. Where did you meet her, Jessica?
The origin story. We
The
met
origin
recently,
story.
like at the East Los Festival.
Yeah, so the East Los Festival, the
It
Goddess
was like 2
Mercado
weeks
put it
ago, I
on,
think.
and
You got it?
it was like all of my worlds colliding in one place. Like I was the resident poet for the Goddess Mercado, whatever that means. And I'm also like part of helping out Jessica. And so just all the worlds collided there.
You're muted.
Thank you. She is an Afro-Indigenous educator, poet, multidisciplinary artist, entrepreneur, dedicated to spiritual education of all people. She has lived in Mexico and Ecuador and has spent extensive time in India. She specializes in Bhakti yoga. Did I say that right? Yoga of the
Bhakti.
heart. And I'm going to butcher this. Yotash. Yeah.
Joy Tish.
Yeah, you say it. That's just astrology.
Vedic astrology.
Yes, that's amazing. And soul retrieval practices. Her aspiration is for others to unlock the key to their own spiritual potential and bring healing on multiple levels. Deanna is a founder of La Casa de Luz, a home of divination and a spiritual school. She engages in public and private ceremonies rooted in her indigenous lineage and is a lover of the matriarchy and proud femme. She curates blogs dedicated to the revival of her story and underground realms. Deanna continues to experiment with different mediums such as music. And yeah, I want to talk to you after this. I need to go to this school.
Thank
Wow.
you so much.
What was living in Mexico like before we started?
I love Mexico. I think that's like, it's my balance between India, which is kind of extreme, and United States, which is also an extreme kind of place to live in. And so I find like a nice balance in Mexico, just like not too extreme, but not either way.
That's so, I know, I love Mexico City. I was like, I can definitely see myself living here, like without a doubt. But we are there to visit because we don't need more gentrification. But that's incredible. Can we give her a warm welcome with snaps and claps and woos and ahs? So please take us away, and this will be our last.
Woo! Well, thank you so much, Monica, for hosting this, Jessica, for inviting me as well. It was really lovely to meet you and a lot of different special people. I have been living like abroad extensively. So for me, coming back to California, I kind of feel like I'm just starting again. And going to those like-minded communities. So I've been through a lot of different communities. And speaking of Mexico City, that is kind of the birth of my artistry when I was living there in 2016. And I was kind of going through something like I was picking up a lot from my environment. But what I really picked up was like the bass and how poetry is and writing is an art. I don't know why, like I wasn't aware of that growing up, and no one really told me that. So it was a discovery for me to understand. So I started doing spoken word with experimental music. So you can still find some stuff on SoundCloud. But what was really special is that I wrote a lot of poems living in Mexico City. And that is my newest book that I have. It's called Walking Piece of Art, Poetry for Healing. So I just self-published it, and it's literally all these poems are basically me in Mexico City, where I was just kind of uncovering a lot through poetry. And so it was definitely, and I think Ray in the beginning he said, you know, poetry heals, and I think we all know it really does. So this is like me kind of having a closing chapter of that life, because it's a lot about my sexual experiences. So before I keep talking, and I've got a lot to say, but actually I was speaking with Matt Cedillo. I'm sure you guys all know Matt. He has La Raza Radio on KPFK 90.7 here in LA, and I will be on there tomorrow. So if you are able, kpfk.org, and I talk a lot more about my business, so you can hear a little bit more of that and my travels as well. But 4 p.m. Our time, LA. Yeah. So if you can listen on radio 90.7, and if not, kpfk.org. So yay. Hope you can hear it. So yeah, let's get into some poetry. I'm gonna read three. My poems are short, not too long. And then I have one that I'm gonna end with that's my newest poem that was inspired by going to more open mics. So I will end with that. So this one is called Deserving Better. How many times have I settled for less? How many times have I undressed my soul for someone to stare back unimpressed? How many times have I compared myself to keep his attention because he stared too much in another's direction? How many times have I cried myself to sleep, and not one tear I wept did he ever say he would keep? How many times did I wonder what to do to stay cool and not let him know I was a fool for him or a fool for love, any of the above? How many times have I not seen my beauty? Covered by society standards, I keep undoing the uniqueness of my creator. I have slumped my shoulders, thinned out my body, and wore out my mind. I slept it all away, unaware of the time. But one day I took a look in the mirror. The sun illumined, and I could see much clearer that my happiness isn't defined by someone else. My happiness isn't the making of external situations. Happiness is found within, in the silence of it all, in the imperfection of my perfection. I now understand why I settled for less so many times. I didn't realize that I deserve the best. So that was one. So I have what I did with the book, particularly, is I kind of split it into 3 chapters, and the first one being Layers Unveiled. The second part, so that was one of the poems from that one, and the second part is Sketches of Self, and then the third part is Brushes of Becoming. So this is the one from Sketches of Self called Virtue. What does it mean to be virtuous? Walking around this world trying to be courageous, protecting myself in the concrete jungle, seeking shelter for this injured animal. Sheep in wolf's clothing, can you see her? Vulnerable inwardly, boldly standing, having something to prove to the masculine, like the lion is prowling within. When all I want to do is dive into the feminine, nothing is wrong with either as I traverse this earthly plane one step at a time, finding true equality to hold both inside and still feel alive. Yin and yang, positive and negative, balance, harmony, spirituality. I'm not trying to rush since chances are it will take some time, but I keep hope as I cross that finish line. So thank you. And also thank you to everyone who read today. There was definitely moments of grief, but beauty and, just so many beautiful things. So I really was touched by each person's poem. So I have 2 more. This one, I kind of feel like I need to revive this poem more. I don't know what it wants from me, but it's asking to be spoken more than once. So here's the next one, is called Awake. Anxiety, why? Unknown, unpleasant, future unpredictable, moments, only time is now. Why ponder of the past when it's gone? Let's change our perspective, change our direction. Listen to our intuition. What language does it speak? Language of feelings, emotions, but deeper than the ones built by the mind. But they are felt by the spirit. Destroy barriers, boundaries, limitations, and cages built by our own hands. Thoughts conceived by society and believed by the majority. When will the blindfold fall? Reveal the exact scene in which we live. Beauty surrounds us, but buildings hide us. 4x4 rooms, no light, lost in gray. Wake up to the color beyond the coffee stain. Lost behind the screen, time elapses, we've lost our youth. Now we stare at a body full of dust and pulled down by gravity. Wasting time trying to show who we are instead of being who we are. Posing for our image of what happiness looks like. Living in a facade with millions of followers. Does that help us sleep at night? Or does it keep us up as we conjure what else we should do and say? It's heavyweight. We must let go of the chains in our way. Chase down our dreams and become awake. Know the true meaning of life and live. Don't be afraid. Courageously jump into the darkness. Your inner light will be your torch.
Woo! Woo! Love
Thank
it.
you. So those are poems from Walking Piece of Art. I'm gonna just drop my thank you guys so much. And then I'm gonna have just finish with one more. Oh, my cousin. Oh, Latoya is my cousin, and poetry is bringing us back together. So I'm really happy
Let's
to
go.
That's
say
so
that.
awesome.
Please drop your link to
Love
buy
that.
the book in the chat. That would be amazing because I'm
Oh,
definitely
I just sent it to Latoya on accident. Let me do it again. Yes, I'll just drop my link and then also my personal Instagram. But like you mentioned in my bio, I have a lot going on. I'm doing workshops. I'll probably be doing something with LA Poet Society as we move forward. I know I'll be going to like Los Libros and Untold Story here in Anaheim. There's a poetry night tomorrow that I'll be doing. And then we're doing a Poetry for Healing workshop November 30th. So do, put that down. But I also do ceremonies. So I have one ceremony coming up on October 12th. It's going to be an ancestor circle in Orange. So definitely do, connect with me. I'd love to be of service to you and the community in any way possible. So thank you
Love
so
all
much.
that.
And yeah, welcome back to Los Angeles. You are welcome with open arms. And personally, I would love to connect with you and meet up and make a friend because you speak the same language as I do.
And that's what I'm really finding. The poet community is a community I've came in and out of, but coming back in, it just feels so right. And I think this last poem I'm going to do is just dedicated to the poets because I really was inspired by the ability to speak our pain in such an poetic but intellectual way that can really touch hearts, and hopefully by us using our words more we can really change the frequency that the earth is on. And so I just I'm really, really grateful. And this does not have necessarily a title, so untitled poem. They say the future is indigenous, but I say the future is right now. Indigenous rising from the bones of those sacred places desecrated. Aho mitake yasin for all of our relations. Butterflies, creepy crawlers, winged ones, four-legged, we are not separate. Protectors of the Amazon, of the sacred waters that give life. First land responders to the fires we cause in spite of the cries of the children living inside a nightmare caused by greed, classism, colorism. Indeed, there is no choice but to lift the original people's voices. The assassinations of activists who take their machetes to the colonizer's neck. Only death threats to deaf ears. Misplaced rage, throw us in a cage. Square gadgets distract from the devastations of hands that extract minerals to fuel electric vehicles. Is there a solution besides backlash? When will Mother Earth swallow the parasite of greed, a black hole devouring skyscrapers, concrete buildings, and roads leading nowhere? Thank you.
That was so powerful.
Woo! Fire. Love it.
Woo!
That's so awesome.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for being here in the community, and I can't wait to do more with you guys. So yes, thank you so much. I think, Monica, you might be frozen, but Carol, you're okay.
You were awesome, Hermana. I'm so glad that we could bring you in to feature tonight.
Thank you for receiving me.
Yes.
For having me.
So the first of many, many events that we'll get to do. Yeah. All right, let's see where Monica. Oh, there she is. Yay. Oh, you're with another camera friend. You're in the same room tonight. All right,
Sorry, I don't
there's
know what's
Monica.
going on. Luckily, I'm amongst people who have working computers. But this actually concludes the night. Deanna, thank you so much for sharing and for agreeing to join. We really hope to see more of you, and we encourage you to come up on the mic and also connect with the community. I would love to do a workshop with you and maybe even co-workshop So let's talk. I'm excited, and thank you for everybody who showed up tonight. You are all a blessing.
Thank you,
I think I
Monica.
can end with a poem, but I don't know if I
Please.
Yeah,
That
you
would be
should
awesome.
share.
people already left. All right, Jessica, I'm gonna head out actually, but
Okay, pues. Good show, everybody. And thank you, everyone, for being here. And we'll see you next time. So, One Mic, One Globe is always last Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific. Come on back. If you're in LA, you're free on Saturday. We have a special Latinx celebration at the Libros Lincoln Heights from 6 p.m. to about 8:30 with features, with danzantes, and a right now workshop and open mic. So if y'all can come, I'll be hosting that on Saturday.
what time?
6 p.m. to 7 or to 8:30. 6 to 7 6 to 8:30.
And Deanna, you said you're gonna go?
I think I can. Yeah, I think that actually works out my schedule. I will just see my energy, but I'm planning on being
Nice.
around the area, so it
Oh,
could
great.
work perfectly.
I have an open mic that night, featured at, so I don't know if I can make it, but let's try to connect and we will see you next month. Thank you for joining.
Take care. Thank you, Monica. Take care,
Bye.
everybody. Bye.
I don't know how to.